One of the first things a child learns is his or her name. I am John. I am, and then come other things after these children grow up. I am a boy. I am a girl. I am strong. I am weak. The ego is always built on identification with this or that. The word I, the way it's used conventionally, is perhaps the greatest delusion. Because when you say I, you think you know who you are.
I'm here and I wanna go. Something tells me there's a struggle. How am I gonna say goodbye now? I know you won't like it.
Then the child gets toys. That's my car, little toy. That's mine. If somebody takes away the toy, the child is in extreme agony. It's mine.
My name is Ego, I'll be with you till your last breath. Right here's a small list of all the things that scare me to death. I can't stand things that I can't understand, and I especially hate things I can't command. I don't like the unfamiliar, and I've got to be first. But I tell you, without me, you could never be a Mandela. Who would know of Muhammad Ali without me? My name is Lust, I'm not a real person. More like a quality. Attach myself behind your eyes temporarily and blind you to anything you think you might wanna be. Make you promise me everything for fame, for idolatry. And when I leave you, you can never follow me. Find yourself confined in solitude. You will never hollow me.
I remember when I was 3 or 4 years old, going out in front of my house and, having a huge poop, right in front of the house on the sidewalk, and then running inside excited to bring my parents out, my mom and dad, and show them what I had done. I was so excited about it. And what was I? I was whipped. I was spanked and whipped for it. And violently, shame on you. Look what you did.
We've been trained and conditioned to shut down our spontaneous responses, our authentic and essential responses from a very early age. Don't cry. What's wrong? No, don't be scared. We're talked out of our feelings and shut down because nobody knows how to communicate from an emotional field.
Childhood is tough. Childhood is rough. Look at the kids on the playground and telling us what's wrong with us and why we're not okay. And the bad part about it is when you're 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12, you believe it. You don't have the strength to reject it and say that's not true. You take it all in and make it part of your truth.
I was abused by my father when I was younger. And I carried it around. I didn't tell anybody. But it's a weirdest thing because it's one of those events that makes you feel, it's a crime that makes you feel you committed it when you're the victim. Because it isn't all pain. There is pleasure in it. So you carry this around with you, that you were part of the crime. And you'll read this all the time when you hear victims of it speaking. I felt so guilty. And then the last guilt is when your father dies or the person dies and you haven't confronted them about it. And you think, well, time will heal it, but time doesn't heal it. It actually gets worse.
The idea of shadow has to be liberated. We must go into the places that scare us, into the darkness, and make friends with our demons. The wound is the key, because we are all wounded by birth. We are like, where am I? Who am I? Why am I here? Where is he? Where is she? And so we're constantly recreating until we make peace with loneliness and with the shame and with our own anger.
I can't kiss away these tears. I wouldn't miss your edges, your cliffs. They are clay, they are clues gone astray, finding the ones we refuse. And we breathe in the breeze and stir through the leaves that still fall on our feet, covering the lines we reveal. We are wounded in all the right places. I feel it all.
The problem is you have to learn your way through these things. You got to fight your way through these things. And the big problem is when they medicate teenagers and children. Often at the request of the expert opinion of some fucking teacher that is having a hard time with a creative child, essentially. Now, when you medicate a kid through those years, that kid's not learning how to deal with depression or anger. The discomfort that the child's depression and anger brings the parent or the teacher, the idea that they would medicate him, it's really a selfish thing. It's really the teacher's problem and the parent's problem. So what they wind up doing is medicating these kids. And then the kids find their way, of course, like other teenagers, into self-medication along with that medication. And that's a recipe for disaster. And all these shooters in Columbine, and Kip Kinkle up in Oregon, and that kid down south were all on antidepressants throughout their teenage years. And what happened was they got to a point where the rage just blew. You kids got a lot of energy. Find something to do with the energy. Get off your ass, Mom, Dad, and do something, rather than just put a pill into their mouth.
I